Hi, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to show you the different ways that you can do lattice folding with your paper projects. You'll have already seen that I've done 2 reviews of the dies that have come out. The first ones that I knew of were these made to surprise ones, but I missed out and I've only just got them, but you'll have seen my other video. If you haven't, I'll put the link down below for the other ones. And then these are the Crafter's Companion ones that I got before those, but were released afterwards. But they're all the different shapes. I'm going to be showing you the side by side so you can actually see. But what I wanted to show you in this video today is the old way of the way that you'd be able to do them compared to the dies. So if you've not got a die cutting machine and you know you just want to have a go at it, if you can manage to get hold of either of these next 2 things that I'm going to show you, then you can do that. So these were the first things that I knew about when I started crafting years and years ago, and these are just basically metal templates, and you draw your lines in and then you cut them out with a craft knife and you fold them back the same way that you do with the dies. So with the dies it's a lot more quicker, and if you've got a steady hand then you can cut these out really well. And then I found this in a sort of craft recycle shop. It's called the Recycle Yard in I can't remember what town it's in now, but it's near enough where I live, and I got this and it was 50p, and it's basically a sheet that's got all the same. Let's get a piece of paper and you can see it a little bit better. It's got the shapes in. So what you do with these ones is you draw around this plastic template instead. Now for some of these ones the gap is very, very small in between, so technically you can get a pencil in there if you've got one of probably the mechanical pencils, but if you tape your template into place then you can just use your craft knife through it. So, but again, if you've not got all these things then you need to know a different way of being able to do it. Right, so I think I'll show you how these ones go first. And silly me is going to have got my double-sided water tape, I think. Oh no, got it. See, thinking ahead. So I'm just going to tack the paper to the template. I'm going to show these ones first. So these obviously take up less room because it's just one flat piece, and the metal ones obviously they're a little bit thicker, but again the flat, so they don't take up much room at all anyway. What I like about these is it's just got your little diagram of some of them, how they look. I'm not going to do all of them because it will be here for ages and you might get a tad bored. I'm just going to show you quickly how you'd go through with them. So I'll go with this one. So just using my pencil, try and have a nice sharp pencil, or like I said, one of the mechanical ones, just so that you've got a nice thin line. The only thing with these is you've got to rub the lines out afterwards, but if that don't bother you then this is fine. I like that these are different shapes to the dies that I've got as well, because you've got different options then of what you're going to do with them. Oops. See. I've not got the steadiest hand. Okay, so I'm just going to do that one. I'll just take that off now. So what you'd have to do with these now is, if you've got a cutting mat, I've got this on a turntable thing, which is handy for when you're doing these so that you can get better angles with them. Then you just need your craft knife, and then all you would do is just go around and cut where you've drawn. It's easy as that. I do prefer the dies simply because I haven't got that steady of a hand. So another reason why I've picked one of the ones with straight lines on to show you. But I have got a very talented husband who has got an incredibly steady hand when it comes to these sort of things, so I sweet talk him when I want anything cutting out. So I'm only going to cut the top couple, and then you can see how they go together. Okay. Yep. See, don't worry if you do off a little bit like that. That proves I've not got the steadiest hand because I've veered off, but it's not much, so it doesn't really matter. It is a lot more convenient with the dies for doing this. Quicker and easier, but like I said, these have got different shapes to what the dies are that I've got. Okay. So, like I've done before, I've worked from the bottom up, and silly me went and did it the opposite way around, and then you just fold them over, and then it's the same. So when you get to the top, see, I'm not nicked all the way through. All the way up to the line. Then it just folds down and tucks underneath, just like the dies do, and obviously you just carry on going down like that. So on these sheets there's 6 different ones on this. So you've got, this looks very similar to the wide arrows. No, not that one. I can find it. This one. This looks very similar to, this is the Made Surprise die, so that will be in the wide and double arrow set. So in that one you get that one and this, so there's your wide and your double arrows. So basically this pattern here would look like this. So if you're wanting that sort of pattern, you've got that one. Now this one I haven't got one that's this shape, so that'll be one that I'll be using off of here. Now this one looks very interesting. It looks a bit like a star. I know that on the Crafter's Companion one there's one called Star, but I don't know whether if it's... Let's have a look. Yeah, it's very similar to that, but it's more pointed, whereas these are rounded. So yeah, so if you've got both of them, you've got a large version and a smaller version, so they'll fit in different projects. Then this one, show this one that's very similar to that one. I think it might have been the Crafter's Companion ones. Ah, there we go. That's the Opulence, but again this is wider, so if you wanted something a bit more narrower, then you've got that if you manage to get hold of one of these. And then that one, I know there's not one like that on the dies, so that's another one that I'll be able to use when I haven't got some. And then this is like the wide arrows that was on this one, but it goes in a circular motion, so you can make a nice topper on your card. If you can just see when it tucks back underneath like that. So there's another way of doing it, because with the dies, or these are just in a straight line, whereas this they've done it so you can do it in a different shape, which is really handy. So that may be something that comes out in the future, you never know. So we shall have to see. Now with these ones, the metal ones, well, yeah, these ones come in the circular. I think there's some square ones as well. These are just the ones that I've got. That one's squares. call this one the rainbows because, or arches, it's up to the one. And then that's just another type of arrow. And I like these ones because they're good borders. And then that one's hexagon, octagon, don't know what it is. It's fancy anyway, whatever it is. I like that it's different. Then this is just the narrow arrows that both the Crafters Companion and Made to Surprise have got, and then this is the circle. But each of these 4 designs have got the different sizes and variants on them, so if you want a good variety in your stash, if you can get hold of all of them and you can afford all of them, and that's fine. The only reason I've got these is because I found them cheap on eBay, and like I said, this one was 50p. I did find an image of something like this on the internet and tried printing it off and making my own, laminating it. It didn't go well. It really didn't go well at all. But then when I saw this, I'm like, yes, I've got it. So I'm hoping I can find some of the other ones, because this is obviously number 2. So there's got to be other ones, at least one other one. So I'm going to have a hunt for those. These ones, let's go with a circle one. Be daring, I'll go for a non-straight edge. Where's my piece of paper gone? There we go. So with this one, rather than having to draw it out, I'm going to try and do it straight with the craft knife. So let's, now doing it like this, I'm going to tape it at both ends, just because I don't trust myself to do it and not end up cutting myself. There we go. So we can get a little, not wrong way, there we go. So that's as close as I can get. And then because this is obviously metal, I don't have to worry about coming out now. This is when the turntable comes in handy, because you can just turn it and just keep your hand in the same position. And this one you don't have to rub out any lines, whereas these obviously you have to go around and, oh, I can't see if I've gone that close. You just have to go around with a rubber and take any pencil lines out. So that's the benefit of these ones anyway. So did I do that one? I think I did, didn't I? I mean, you could try doing this with the plastic ones, but I wouldn't trust myself to not go through this because it's quite thin. Now, I know you can get swivel head craft knives from Crafters Companion. I might have to get one of those, see whether if that helps me with my steadiness. Okay, I'll just do those 3. I'll put the sharp implement away. So as you can see, when you've cut these out, it's like you've not got your pencil lines. As you can see, I'm really not steady. I'm doing it really quick. So I'm just going to fold this one down. And then tuck it behind the one underneath. Got that obviously would finish the pattern off, but that's basically how they work. So you get the same effect no matter what medium you're using. So don't feel bad if you can't, you can't stretch to get in the dies, or you haven't got a die machine to use. So there are options for you to do these things. It's just, I know when I first started out crafting, and I got no clue whatsoever about any of this, and I think I remember getting some of these years and years ago, and I just could not figure out what to do with them. And it was the days before YouTube, and the only craft channel I used to watch was Create and Craft, and sort of I went on from there, and then watched Crafters Companion, and obviously YouTube came along. but there's all these different ways, so it's whichever one you prefer. But the out of the way. The Crafts Companion and the Made to Surprise ones have got some that are the same shape, but they are different sizes. So I'm glad I've got both, because say if you're doing a project and you know you just want a more petite thing. So as you can see here, that's exactly the same shape, but this one's smaller and more dainty, and then this has got a more chunky version of it. So they're exactly the same, you know, shape wise, but size wise they're different, so they're good for different projects. And then let's see, the circle, it's the opposite way around on these ones. On the Crafts Companion one, the circle is very large, and on the Made to Surprise one, it's more dainty. So they vary from brand to brand, even though they've got the same shapes. They've got the difference in that respect. And then we've got the double diamond. Well, that's what the Crafts Companion have called it. They've called it the double diamond, and not Crafts Companion, just said that one. Made to Surprise have called it double arrows. So double arrows for the Made to Surprise is wider on this one, but got thinner pieces. And then on the Crafts Companion one, it's a little bit narrower, but the pieces are more chunky. So again, you've got different options. And have we got any others that are the same? Don't think we have. So with the Made to Surprise ones, you've got a wide version of the, what is it, the tall arrows. It's just out wider. So you get that difference with the Made to Surprise, but you don't get that in the Crafts Companion. So again, another good reason for having both of them. Now there's only two more after that in the Made to Surprise, which is this wide curves and squares, which you don't get in the Crafts Companion, and I really like this one. I really do. There's the, I can't make my mind up whether it's my favourites, the double arrows or the curves. I just find them really beautiful when they're put together, because I've seen a lot of work where they've scored down the middle and they're put on the edges of cards or for toppers and things. And then these are the other three that are left over from the Crafts Companion. So there's all different shapes and things, so just have a think and a play around. If you've got these already in your stash, then that's great, and you can just go and have a play and see which you think is going to be best. For you. So you can see. So I hope that's helped you a little bit on how to put these things together. I'll link my other two videos before, just doing the review of these two individually. If you've liked this video, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be appreciated. And if you've really liked it, if you could, if you're not subscribed, if you consider subscribing, I would appreciate that too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.